you and your refusal to watch a sitcom.
Yeah. So, look, I have no problem. I've been watching American Pie over the last couple of days. Have you ever watched that?
No.
See, that's a sitcom. That's like a teen sex comedy thing. It's like it's all 15-year-old. Like the ratings 15. They're all 18 and up. You know, it's all fine. It's
I've
funny.
been I've been trying to persuade Mussy to watch New Girl, but he won't do it.
He
And he
sent me a
refuses.
clip, and it was just two people arguing, which was stupid. He's just taking this solace because of the fact that when I was with him in Spain, we watched White Chicks, and I found it hilarious. Admittedly, I love that movie now, but
Yeah,
that's
but
not
when we
reason.
started out, I said, let's watch White Chicks. I know you'll love it. And you were like, no, not doing it. I'm not
He took
watching
me
it.
like an hour to convince me because
It took an hour to convince you because you were being stubborn, and then you ended up loving it, like I
I
said
love
you would.
because we were meant to go out that night. It was one of the last. It was the Friday, and we were meant to go out that night, and I was just I can't really be bothered, but I didn't want to watch a movie, and then Owen decided. He was trying to convince me. He'd mentioned it in passing a couple of times, and I was like, maybe we'll see. Then we grabbed some food. And then
No,
he was like,
you refused. You were like, I am not watching it.
yeah, because I just heard the name of the movie, and I was like, this is going to be ridiculous. And then we turned it on, and I was in hysterics for however long the movie is. So it was great.
There you
So
go.
right into the show because I think we've just talked rubbish for about we talked rubbish for 90 seconds there. So right as promised, we are recording this on a Saturday. I can't be bothered. I couldn't be bothered to do my hair, so I'm doing this with the hood up. So I'm going to bake because my room's quite warm at the best of times. Owen is not going to bake, but we'll see how long I can last with this. At some point, I may take my hood off and I'll have to fix all my hair up and stuff. But we'll see. So it's Super Bowl Saturday. This will likely go up at some point. It's too hot already, I'll be honest. I'm going to bake. I'm going to bake. So it's Super Bowl Saturday, and the game will kick off in 27 hours, about 27 hours, and yeah, I am really excited for this one. Owen, I'll let you take us away with the preview. What do you think? How's it going to happen? Who you picking? Which direction do you see this game going? Who do the conditions favour more? Whatever direction you want to go, and take it away.
Do you want me to just go straight in with my pick?
It's up to you. You have the floor.
I thought you were going to pick the Seahawks, but then when we talked about it before we started,
I mean, I could.
You made
I
it
might.
sound like you're not going to.
No, I said I might pick the Seahawks. I know. I said you don't know who I might pick.
It was the way you said it. You're like, I don't think you know. So, I'm. Kevin Wilde has convinced me. It's destiny. The doorstep of destiny.
Okay. Carry on.
I've got the Patriots. Okay, I'll give it to you like this. I think Brady. I was listening to something where Brady was talking on some Seahawks radio show or something, and he said the NFL. It's not like the NBA where you play a 7-game series, right? Because most of the time, well, unless there's injuries or different things like that, a lot of the time in the NBA, whoever's playing best as a team will win that series. Whereas with the NFL, a team could play each other 10 times, and maybe one team is going to win 6 times and the other would only win 4, but that team who would win less over that many games could still win in that one game because it's one game elimination. So my take is I think the Seahawks are marginally better. I like their roster as a whole, I think, is marginally better. And I think if they played 10 games, I think the Seahawks would win 6 or 7. However, that being said, I think in this game, in this spot, the Patriots are going to win. And my reasoning why, and this, you said, how do you think the game is going to play out? I think what's going to happen is however Sam Darnold plays in the first quarter is going to affect who wins. Because my take is, the defenses are fairly similar. I'd give Seattle the edge, but I think both defenses are elite. I think the New England's weakness is the offensive line, but apart from that, both got great special teams. I mean, Seattle's running game is better, but they've lost Chardonnay, so they're going to rely mostly... Is he back for this game?
I think he's out for the playoffs, but we'll have a check.
So, by my estimation, they're going to be relying on Walker quite a lot. They've obviously got JSN, but Pages have got...
He blew his knee. He had surgery. I thought he was out.
Yeah. So they'll just be relying on him as a run. And Patriots have one of the best rush defences in the league, and especially this playoff run. And then receiving corps, you've got JSN, who's obviously far and away the best, but the Patriots have very solid receiving corps as well, and they can all chip in. So it's really tit for tat, but I think the Seahawks edge them as a roster. However, I think where the Patriots have the advantage is coaching, number one. I think Mike McDonough's a great coach, but I think Vrabel's been the best coach in the playoffs. I think he showed that against the Broncos, managing the weather conditions. I think Josh McDaniels showed it by... Drake May has been a deer in the headlights at times in the first half, but they've been able to shore him up in the second half and give him an opportunities to become more comfortable and actually go out there and play better in the second half. Like we saw with the Texans game, he came out and had a passer rating of over 120 in the second half, even though he'd fumbled a couple of times in the first. So my take is they, as a coaching staff, and Drake May as the better quarterback, he might have a slow start, but he has proved over the playoffs that he can come back and close out games and have enough to close out the games even if he doesn't start well. For Darnold, I think is going to be a different story. I think he's coming off the best game of his life. He's on a high. And I think if he has a great first quarter, then he's going to feel great for the rest of the game and the Seahawks will probably win it. But I don't think that's going to happen. And I think he's going to start seeing ghosts. He's going to have a rough first quarter, and then Drake May won't play great in first half, but with McDaniel's play calling and Vrabel's game management and Drake May's just overall being a better quarterback, that the Patriots will win in the end. Is that a fair assessment?
I think that is a fairly balanced take. So listen, everything you said about the Seahawks being better, I agree with. I mean, they're a significantly better. I think the Patriots have had I think they've had a bit of a soft touch defensively going into the playoffs, right? Justin Herbert behind the Chargers defensive line is not a big challenge. They managed to get after the quarterback quite easy. They've doubled their sack tally. Texans are the same. They have a horrible offensive line. And then you have a backup quarterback. The Seahawks, they have been okay. They weren't as great against the Rams, but they managed to restrict them enough to only 27 when they easily could have put up more had it been in easier conditions. Because those are perfect passing conditions for Sam Darnold. Mm-hmm. No, not for Sam Darnold, for Matt Stafford that night. So, and they really put a chokehold on the 49ers. So I trust the Seahawks defense a lot more than I trust the Patriots defense. The Patriots defense, I actually don't trust all that much. I think they're good, but they're not exceptional. So, and I think the Seahawks defense might be the best in the league. Right? I think it's them or the Texans. So, and even then, the Seahawks defense is a little more steady. I think that you could easily compare this to, it's similar to the 2013 one against the 2015 Broncos, as in the Texans are more 2015 Broncos, and the Seahawks are like 2013 Seahawks, where they're a bit more steady. They'll grind you down over the course of a game. They don't have the same big hit as those guys did. Their receiving corps, I think, is flat out better. They're number one. Their number two, I think, is better than the Patriots' number one. I think Cooper Kupp, when he's healthy, is exceptional. I think he's absolutely brilliant. I think he's someone who you can rely on game to game. Smith and Jigba might be the best receiver.
I disagree with that. I think Diggs is better than Kupp.
Okay, but the point is...
And I'd take Booty over Kupp as well.
Heavy disagreement. I prefer Kupp's route running and security with the ball, but I think he's better. Kenneth Walker, I think, is far better than the Patriots' options at the running back position. I think Mike McDonald and Mike Vrabel are a bit of a wash. I'll be honest, you think it would happen... Sorry, I've got a text coming. I'll mute for a little bit. Sorry, more text.
You're fine.
I do not have Do Not Disturb activated on my iMessage for situations like this, but these aren't overly urgent, so it's fine. I'll get back to them in a bit. So what was I going to say? So I disagree with your take that the Seahawks would win 6 or 7 times. I think they are significantly better than the Patriots. And everything points to a Seahawk blowout.
I don't think blowout.
No, as in, like, if one team were to get blown out, I think it would be the Seahawks blowing out the Patriots. And everything points to, I think, a solid 7 to 10 point victory for the Seahawks. I think they should easily... If I were to run the numbers on this, I would feel pretty comfortable in saying 7.5... No, like, Seahawks would easily cover the 4.5 point spread. All the gamblers in Vegas, their 70% have bet on the Seahawks to cover the spread. I think 8 or 9 times out of 10 they would win this game. No.
You don't think they're going to win?
I've got the Patriots too. Everything.
Oh, that makes no sense. At least there's some rationale.
Yes, I know. I think the Seahawks are significantly better than the Patriots. Like, I think the gap is bigger than you think the gap is.
That's what I mean.
And I think
rationale, at least, as to why they would win.
And I think the Patriots are going to win. And I think they're going to win by 10 to 12 points. I think they're going to win quite comfortably.
Can you please explain?
I don't have a real explanation.
You need to use logic.
No, I don't.
Way. That's how it work.
Here is where it is, right? Drake May, Sam Darnold. First Super Bowls for all-time greats, which I believe Drake May is going to be. We'll talk about the MVP later. I think Drake May is going to be an all-time great. Sam Darnold is a jag. He's just a guy. He's just a guy who's had a few very good seasons under great offensive coordinators with fantastic weapons. He goes from Justin Jefferson, and I think they had Aaron Jones last year at running back position, and they had a few others. They had the fellow with the long hair at tight end position for the Vikings, and they had another nice second receiver, Addison, I think his name was. And now he comes over here. You have Smith and Jigba, you have Cooper Kupp, you have nice running backs who you can involve in the passing game. Kevin O'Connell, Clint Kubiak, these are good offensive minds. They put him in a good position to win. And then there's Drake May. Drake May throws a pretty ball, and he's a scrambler, and he throws a wonderful pass, and he evades the sack, and he holds onto the ball, and he slings that ball deep. Running game. Travion Henderson, he's going to bust out, and he's going to break off a long run. Patriots, they will make enough plays on the defensive end, and they will force Sam Darnold into a second half collapse. And I think the Seahawks will go into the second half leading. I think they will be leading at halftime by 3 to 7 points. And then at the end of it, they'll come out the second half cold. Darnold is going to do some dumb stuff. Patriots march down the other end, and they're going to walk the Seahawks down. Boa constrict to win. They're going to choke them. They're going to tighten them out, and they're going to win this game, and they're going to win it maybe by 2 full touchdowns. I think by at least 10 points. I think this is going to be a surprisingly comfortable victory for the Patriots. I do not see. I logically tried to rationale it for the Seahawks. I can't see it. No, I logically tried to rationale a win for the Patriots. I couldn't see it. But everything about it, right? This team, its vibes and all this stuff's, right? It is brilliant. It is lining up. 4.5 is also too big for this game. Even though, it just feels like too big of a line. So I am going with the Patriots. You look more disgusted with me now than you have ever looked with me in the 12 years that we've known each other.
Yeah. Because you make no sense.
It makes sense.
Last week you picked the Seahawks.
Yes. And it was purely based on logic.
In spite of Sam Darnold.
Yes.
And then Sam Darnold goes and plays the game of his life in the biggest pressure moment.
Yes.
And all these last couple of weeks, we've had to listen to the media talking about how good Sam Darnold is going to be.
Yes.
And talking about how, actually, since he left Carolina, he's been top 5 quarterback in the league.
Hey, I have never said that.
No, this is the media, not you.
Yeah, the media.
No, it's top 10.
You can argue that top 10. I think that's a fair position.
They've been saying it all week, and the Seahawks, like you say, you feel like they're better in every position, and you're higher on the Seahawks than I am. That's what I don't think there's that much in it. Like I think they are the better team, but I don't think that the gap is as big as you proclaim.
Oh, I think it's significant.
And you still that take doesn't make sense.
It does.
I'm basically saying there's a small pathway for the Patriots to win. This is how it's going to happen. And you're just saying there is little to no pathway they're going to win.
Correct.
And there's no logical rationale, but they're going to win by 10 points.
Yes.
A blowout.
Yes.
Potentially 2 scores.
Yes. I just have a feeling, right? I have got the score in my mind and I have reverse engineered a path to it. I do not. It's simple, right? There are vibes and there are feelings, there are magical tensions and electricity in the air sometimes where I can just feel outcomes happening.
Do you know why I'm disgusted?
Why?
I'm disgusted because I had to make up all that crap about why I think the Patriots are going to win. All of this Vrabel's game management and Josh McDaniels helping Drake May overcome his first half meltdown. I had to pretend like I believed all of that just so that I could seem like I had some logical rationale to why I want the Patriots to win. And then you come on and say the Patriots are going to win because of the vibes and because I have a feeling about it.
Yes, because of the magic and the electricity in the air and everything that surrounded this Patriots season, they're going to win.
I agree, but I don't like the way you got there.
Who cares about the way you got there? We got to the same conclusion.
That's fair. Oh, I don't know how I feel about it. I feel like I want you to pick the Seahawks. I feel like
It would be good for this, and it would have logical consistency because of when I picked them a couple of weeks ago.
I feel like out of obligation, you need to pick the Seahawks.
I do not care about obligation. No one has ever called me Mr. Consistency or anything like that. I've never been some arbiter of, whatever it is. I have just decided. Listen, I sometimes get these feelings, right? And sometimes they're right and sometimes they're wrong. Usually they're right when I'm picking my team to lose. But that's not the point here.
Okay. Can I try to convince you to pick the Seahawks?
No, why? No, that would be silly, wouldn't it? Because then you'd be trying to get me to pick against your pick.
Yes. I need to convince you.
Why?
By your own logic, you think how much better is the Seahawks defense than the Patriots?
Quite a bit.
Cornerbacks better.
The entire team is better.
The entire defense is better.
Cornerbacks, you can maybe... Because Christian Gonzalez is probably the best in the league. But
they've got 3 of them.
Exactly. And their Seahawks defense is just the best. And scheme-wise, they're the best. Mike McDonald might be the best defensive mind in the entire league. So, that's that.
Defense is a wash. Offensive line, wash. Running backs, a wash. The only position you believe the Patriots are better at is quarterback.
Yes.
That's the only position. What about tight ends? Tight ends.
You could argue tight ends.
Okay. Bearing that in mind, Drake May has been playing the worst football of his season in the postseason.
He's due an elite game.
What numbers do you think he'll put up?
He'll put up his regular season stat line. He'll put up 250 with 2 touchdowns, and he won't throw a pick this game. He may have a strip set.
Okay.
Listen, the Patriots are going to win.
I agree.
They're going to win. They're going to win. Oh, they're going to win. And they're going to win by 10 plus points.
I disagree with that part. I don't think they're going to win by 10.
They're going to win.
I think it's going to be... I think it'll come down to the last play of the game.
They are going to win.
That's my prediction. Drake May, 2-yard rushing touchdown to win
You're
the Super
so
Bowl.
mad right now.
I'm trying to find any divisive.
You're so mad.
Why do you have to pick the Patriots against all rationale?
It's funny because in school, The only time these types of picks would happen with me were when it came to do with LeBron James. And a lot of the time, that would be me deluding myself into thinking the Cavs would somehow have a chance of winning, even though they didn't. This is not something which I generally do. Just riding with pure airy-fairy stuff. But this stuff is real. If you follow sports for long enough, you know this stuff is real. You cannot algorithmically determine results and things like that. The Patriots are going to win this game. This year's been special for them. It just won't work out for the Seahawks. And it's a shame for them because they probably are the best team in the league. But it's just not going to go that way. I'm sorry. And Owen, I'm sorry for ruining the illusion that you had of me that everything was based in logic. It's not. Vibes are king, and having fun and electricity and the power of friendship is what really wins championships.
You just said the power of friendship.
Yes! It's the power of friendship that's going to win the Patriots this game.
I agree. It's destiny. That's it. It's just there's something about the season.
You're so mad right now. I can just see it through the screen.
I'm more disappointed. I'm not mad.
Which means you're mad.
I'm more disappointed.
You're mad.
I don't get mad.
Oh, yes. Well, so, away from that, as I've just upset Owen deeply by betraying the logical rationale that I used to go with in the previous 11 years that we went with, even when we argue other things, normally I base things in data and facts and evidence, and this time it's just like, no, they're going to win. Why? Because they are. That's why. So.
I don't... Okay. Let's go on before I'm getting too worked up about this.
See, you are mad. I knew I got you mad. So, next topic I want to talk about is... So, what would the impact... So, who benefits more from winning... Between the quarterbacks, this is. Who benefits more from winning and who suffers more from losing between the two quarterbacks? Go one by one. So, like, who benefits more from winning first? We'll answer that first.
Sam Darnold.
You think?
Yeah.
Why?
Because Drake May is a young guy. He's in his second year and he's got to the Super Bowl. Which means that, like, there's not many people who actually win it. So if he does win it, obviously that would be great for his legacy. But it's not like, oh, it's end of the road for you. It's not the same with Sam Darnold either, but once you've got that stigma on your back, it's very hard to get off. And he did well last game, but he needs to finish that off to be able to fully get that off his back, I think. Because regardless of what you did against the Rams, it's your divisional opponent, you know them well, fine, however you want to say it. If he doesn't win the Super Bowl, then that whole stigma, the whole pumpkin mode, Sam Darnold meltdown is going to come back, and it's going to be even harder to overcome the next time around. Drake May's a young guy. They've got a great team, great coaching over there. They're in the AFC, which is the easier division, less competition going forward. So, well, you can argue this season it was definitely the easier division.
Do you think that if Darnold plays well and the Seahawks lose, then it is like he can still shake that? Like, say if they win say if they lose and he still plays super well, do you think that really matters?
I can't see that happening.
So you don't think? So
if Darnold plays well, I don't think they lose.
Okay, I understand.
Like, if Sam Darnold plays well, there's no way in hell the Seahawks lose.
Okay.
In my opinion.
Okay.
He's got to have a bad game or like a mediocre game.
So, I have a take.
Yeah.
I don't think it's one you're gonna like.
Okay.
I think this is basically a free hit for both. Like, I don't really think... Like, they can only really win from here. Like, if Darnold loses, I don't think anyone really cares that much because he made a Super Bowl. And it's like, oh, Blake, you made the Super Bowl. You were a bust. And with Drake May, it's, second year. You're 3 years ahead of schedule. What are you doing here? Yeah. Whereas if they win, Darnold is like, okay, you're minted forever. You can get a $50 million contract. And with May, it's you go into the area where you have the rest of your career to pile up Super Bowls. And maybe Mahomes has a legitimate rival. And maybe it's not Josh Allen, maybe it's not Lamar Jackson. But to be honestly, I think for the first time in a long time, both quarterbacks don't really have anything to lose. Because I was mapping this out in my head for a little while. So, I think, last year, Mahomes is stamped, obviously. Jalen Hurts, if Hurts loses, then the entire argument is, see, you can't win that way. With your quarterback throwing 15 times a game, you cannot win a Super Bowl that way. Year before, with Brock Purdy, it's like, you can't win that way. Oh, you can't win that way with this game manager. And with Mahomes, it was like, see, he always needed his elite weapons to win the Super Bowl. And, if he doesn't win the Super Bowl, then it's like, oh, what are you doing? The year before that, with Mahomes and who was the other fella, Hurts. Hurts is like, you can't win a Super Bowl the way. Mahomes is like, you never won a Super Bowl without Tyreek Hill. Prove you can actually do it. Year before that, Stafford and Burrow, you can argue that was a free hit for both, but at the same time, when Stafford is like, you've not proven you can win the big game to a certain degree. People didn't rate Stafford as highly as they do now, even though he did beat Tom Brady on his way to that Super Bowl. With Patrick Mahomes, the first time it was like, can you win the big game? The year before that, with Brady against the Rams, it was sort of Jared Goff is like, oh, well, no one really cares. You can't win with Jared Goff as your quarterback. Etc. Like, there's absolute... I think this is the first time in a long time where it's sort of like a reputational free hit. I think it not even like 2014 with Brady and Wilson, because Brady, it was like, you've not won for so long, can you even win anymore? So, like, I think for the first time in a long time, like, maybe 2016 with Brady and Ryan, because that was sort of a free hit for Ryan, because no one really expected the Falcons to get there, and with Brady, it's like, oh, you're already on 4. So, like, that's sort of like a reputational free hit, but I don't really see this as one where one can significantly lose. I think Drake's better stood up for it, because if you win in your second year, that monkey's off your back forever. And he's not going to go up.
That's the one thing, right? It's like, if you win that championship early on in your career, because Drake May's going to be such a good player, it's like there's always going to be that expectation of when's he going to get over that hump. Whereas with Darnold, no one really had that, like, oh, you're an elite player, when are you going to win a championship? So for Drake, he doesn't know. The other thing as well, he doesn't know when he's going to go back. So in the bigger picture, maybe Drake may, but in terms of, like, this might be your only chance, Sam Darnold.
My thing is, it's just like, Aaron Rodgers won in year 3. Starting, obviously. He didn't start for his first 3 years. He played in 2008, he lost his first game. 2009, he did okay. 2010, obviously, they won. I think he might have missed the playoffs his first year, actually. But Rodgers won in year 3 of starting. And he had a great playoff run. He started off 4-1 in the playoffs. And after that, he just sort of stunk, really. Like, you're losing your first playoff game at home to Eli and the Giants. You lose to Kaepernick. You lose to other guys. You lose the NFC title game when you really should have won because you threw a bunch of picks against the Seahawks. You lose another NFC title game to the Falcons. You lose to the Cardinals. You lose a bunch of games that you honestly probably shouldn't have. You blew it against the Bucks. You blew it against the Niners. But no one really cared.
They were like, well, you've already won, so...
Yeah, it's the only people that really cared is, like, relative to Brady. Because there was that argument for a long time of, oh, who's better, Brady or Rodgers? And at a certain point, it's like, well, this guy has 5, and this guy has 1. So, like, what are we talking about? But even when it was 4-1, like, people were still arguing over who was better. Like, even just visually. So, even just, like, as a player.
Yeah.
So, it was a bit crazy. So, and even then, like, when you look back at it, a lot of it was Rodgers was just an elite regular season player, whereas with Peyton Manning, until he finally got over that hump and won the Super Bowl, everyone was just sort of looking at him like a jackass. It's just like, yeah, but you always lose to this guy. And even now, like, Peyton's viewed as a playoff dropper because of how he won his Super Bowls, which he was. He stunk in the playoffs relative to how good like, he might have been the best regular season quarterback ever, but everyone still views him as a guy who just stunk in the playoffs, even though he is a top 5 quarterback. So, I think for Drake, he stands for more to win from this game. I think he also stands for less to lose because he is just a kid.
I also think because of the way that Drake has played this playoffs, it puts him under more pressure because you haven't played well. So then if you fall short in the Super Bowl, it's going to be like next year. The narrative could be,
okay, that's fair.
You're not a good playoff performer. You
Yeah.
don't get it done.
How much weight do you put into the fact his shoulders banged up? Do you care about that or not at all?
When
No.
did he get banged up?
At some point during the Broncos game.
Okay. So do you mean for this Super Bowl or do you mean for the past performances?
Super Bowl.
Oh. I don't put too much stock into it unless the thing is if I see them physically suffering with it, then I would. But unless
if it looks like he can throw the ball, then you don't care.
No.
I'm fairly similar. You know, like unless he's clearly hobbled, I don't really care. But yeah, I think it's weird because this is a fun one because no one wanted this Super Bowl really. Like pretty much everyone wanted. I would say if we were to take a straw poll at the start of the playoffs, what was everyone's preferred Super Bowl? I would say it was probably Bills against Rams.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I think that's fair.
Probably the two best quarterbacks left in the tournament. Probably the most well-known coaches.
Everyone
maybe.
wanted Josh Allen in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, 100%. Bills, absolutely. Everyone wanted the Bills there. And then I think Rams because, Sean McVay, Stafford, they're a fun team to watch. They do sling the ball around. Their defense is young and they're athletic. They're violent. So I think that was probably the favored Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But obviously, we didn't get that. Obviously, Josh Allen crashed out. And then the Rams lost.
And Arnold happened.
They just lost to the Seahawks. So, courtesy of my wonderful pick. So, yeah, we'll have to see what happens. You're still mad about 10 minutes ago, aren't you?
If the Seahawks win, I'll be even more disgusted with you.
Why? What did I do?
Just everything that you read.
It's not like I was rooting for the Seahawks in the playoffs and I suddenly bailed. I just thought they'd beat the Rams. And I don't think they'll win this game.
After everything you've said about how much better the Seahawks are and stuff.
They are better, and they're not going to win.
It's like me saying to you, you said 8 or 9 times they win. It's like me saying to you, I'm going to flip a coin but it's weighted and there's a 80-90% chance it lands on heads. And it lands on tails. That's what you're telling me.
Mm-hmm. You're so upset. See, we finished that topic 10 minutes ago and he's still upset. This is great.
I don't think the Patriots are as weak as a roster clearly as you do.
No, you don't. I think they're a lot worse than you are.
Apart from their offensive line, there's no real weakness. Also, there's the Seahawks... No, ignore me. Carry on. As you were.
So, next up, we'll briefly touch on the MVP. So, Stafford won it, and he only won it because a voter gave a vote to Justin Herbert. Did you see the voting numbers?
Yes, and the guy was so shameless that he came out on Twitter.
24-23 for Stafford to May. Josh Allen got 2, and Justin Herbert got 1 solitary vote.
Because it's just based on first place vote. Oh no, they were about equal on second and third votes, weren't they?
Well, I think that first place votes. I don't know exactly how the voting system works. I know it just used to be first place.
Like 5 votes, and they were 5 points, and there was 5 points difference between them, wasn't there?
Oh wow, okay then, yes, it seems that way.
Because they count second and thirds, but when the total points were added up, there was only 5 points in it. And 1 first place vote counts for 5 points. So it was literally a 1 first place vote away.
And it was Justin Herbert. So, how do you feel?
Take yourself seriously as a sports broadcaster who has an MVP vote and seriously think that Justin Herbert deserves consideration. So,
listen. His rationale, I understood it. I understood it. He's saying he has a bad offensive coordinator. 40% of his starting offensive line is out. He's always getting hit. He doesn't have a lot of weapons. He is the only thing keeping that offense afloat. And, you know, he deserves to get some recognition for that thing. Now, that being said...
Not the MVP.
I don't think Allen should have gotten votes either.
No.
And I do think Drake May should have won it.
I think Stafford still should have won it. I think even if they hadn't voted for Allen or Herbert, they would have voted for Stafford. I can't prove that, but I would imagine that would be the case.
I think Drake May should have won it. Drake May did not falter down the stretch in key games, which cost his team the number 1 seed. Drake May, like, the Patriots went after, I think they started off 1-2. They went 13-1 the rest of the way. That has to count for something. Especially when Stafford ends up as the 6th seed with I think 11 or 12 wins, and he was partially responsible for some of those losses, and not just partially, he was significantly responsible for some of those losses. And I understand the 40-something touchdowns. The only person who's thrown for over 45 touchdowns and not won the MVP was Drew Brees in 2011, and Aaron Rodgers threw 46 touchdowns that year as well. So, you know, can you really complain? Probably not. So, I get it. At the same time,
that's my thing with Stafford. It's purely numbers based, but also I think people will have taken. So I think it kind of cancels out because people say for Drake that he had less help, but then they also say for Stafford he had a way harder schedule. So I think that kind of cancels itself out. And then if you look at the sheer numbers, I mean, Stafford was more explosive. Drake May was more just steady throughout the season. Like, he'd have, 250 yards, 2 touchdown games, like, fairly consistently. He didn't really have... He might have had, one bad game, but he didn't really have any meltdowns. Stafford had some more questionable games, but his overall play was better, I think. And I don't think he cost them the 1 seed whatsoever. I think he was amazing that game against the Seahawks, and I think it was...
It was the other losses.
It was chicanery with the 2-point conversion. Well,
yeah, but there were some other losses mixed in there, which had he played better, they would have gotten the 1, or at least got the 5 seed.
There's the one against Atlanta and
maybe if... No, they had the 5 seed in the end anyway. But if you get the 1 seed, all of a sudden your life is a lot easier. And I'll be honest, if they had the 1 seed, I probably would have picked them that game. And obviously not to say my pick would have influenced them winning, but, you know, you get the point I'm trying to make. So... What? I'm not that influential.
I'm not. I think it is a bit of a toss-up, and I'm glad it was really close because I thought Stafford would get more votes than he did.
Yes, after the Offensive Player of the Year voting came out, after Drake May appeared on the Offensive Player of the Year finalists, I thought Stafford was going to win by 35-15 or something.
I didn't think it would be as tight as it was, but I'm glad that it was because I think it was close and that it deserved to be that close.
Yeah, it's I mean, we've had some good MVP races the last few years. You had Allen and Lamar last year. The 1 year before that Lamar one was pretty simple, but you know we've had some good ones. So we disagree on that, but I think it's close enough to the point where it's negligible. So Owen, your final Super Bowl score pick. Give us a number.
Ooh. I think it's going to be low scoring. 17-14 Patriots.
Okay. MVP?
Ooh. Christian Gonzalez when he picks off Sam Darnold twice.
I'm going 27-13 Drake May.
Well, yeah, if they're putting up 27 points, then. But I'm going to go Christian Gonzalez, pick 6.
Okay. So, that is the end of our... That'll be our last preview of an NFL game until September, if we're still doing this at this point. Still doing it at that point. And next week we will obviously review what went on Sunday. Well, tomorrow. This will be uploaded tomorrow, probably. I'm not sure yet. Now, we are to move on, and I want to go first on this, to the ridiculous goody two-shoes I'm trying not to swear, to the goody two-shoes cornball that is Giannis Antetokounmpo. This guy, you're fine with me going first, right? Because I have a bit.
You go for it.
Listen, so this guy, he goes from a position in 2021 where he is probably the most loved guy in the league. I think, is that fair to say?
Yeah, I mean, no one hates Giannis.
No one hated him.
I did, but no one in the media hated him.
Yeah, but that was more to do with you don't like the way he plays.
I hate the way he plays.
Exactly. So, you go from being the guy who was in line to take the position from, at the end of the 2021 season, you are viewed as the best player in the sport, right? You are the guy who's viewed as taking the face of the league mantle from LeBron James. You are the guy who can carry the league forward. You can be the first international face of the league. And you decide to stick it out in Milwaukee, right? 2022, you get unlucky. Jason Tatum drops the best game of his entire career. I still think the best game of his entire career. I think it's better than the 50-point game 7 he had because of the situation he was in. You're against the defending champs. You drop 48 or whatever it was. And you don't get through. Fine. You get some injuries in 2023. Fine. Whatever it is, I think 23-24 he missed the playoffs. 2025 he plays, and he plays well, but they lose quite handily to the Pacers. You decide to stay, but it's clear that you wouldn't necessarily be against a trade after the 2025 playoff series. Now, you spend the entire front half of the season flirting with a move away. You just have yourself in the shop window. You're just like, you're furrowing your eyelashes at anyone who will look at you. And you're basically saying like, oh yeah, someone come and get me. I'm available, right? I'm willing to leave. I'm willing to leave Milwaukee. But you won't. But you will never outright request a trade. You never go to the Bucks and you say, look, trade me. I am done. I'm not going to win here. Trade me. But it's clear that you're comfortable being moved away. You have the Bucks in an impossible position because ultimately, after what happened with Nico Harrison trading away Luka Doncic, no team will ever flash trade their superstar away again. They just will not do it.
Unless they demand a trade.
Exactly, which is why I said flash. Like, say if AD were to get traded today from, let's say you bring Anthony Davis, trade from 2019 to 2026. If he were to demand a trade, he would be traded. Pelicans, there was no chance they would trade him, even with just a year left on their deal, even if they knew he was leaving, because they wouldn't want to face the backlash from the rest of the media and the fans and whatever. Giannis refusing to do this has put them in an impossible spot. Giannis needs to come out and say, I want to go. Because he clearly wants to win, right? He is trying to make it abundantly clear he wants to win, but at the same time, he wants to be the good guy too. What he's displaying is a disgraceful act of two-faced political malpractice because he wants to be seen as the good guy. Well, he wants to have his cake and eat it too, which honestly is one of the most disgraceful things. It is okay to be two-faced when you're playing politics, but he's been caught because he's playing it in a public arena. Right, he's not doing it behind closed doors. Everything that's coming out. You think that Shams Charania is getting all this information just through the grapevine? You think he's just going in his phone and showing onto ChatGPT? How can I scheme up a way to make it seem like Giannis wants out of Milwaukee and they're willing to discuss trade opportunities? He is doing this to try and make himself seem like the best teammate possible, but everyone sees through it. If you're going to be like this, be like James Harden. Right? James Harden never nonsensed anyone about what his demands were. Okay, was it petty? Fine. Or be like Anthony Davis and say, listen, I want to leave. I can't win here. Or be like Kawhi Leonard. Look, I want to go. You're not doing right by me. I want to go. Same with Kevin Durant. Same with all these other superstars. And instead, he's just like, no, I want to be seen as a good guy. I'm loyal to Milwaukee, even though I'm willing to leave whenever I can. You're only as loyal as your options. And the reality is, you can't find a suitable situation away at the minute that Milwaukee will actually trade you to. So you're trying to play both sides and you look like a jackass for doing it.
My question is, sorry to interrupt your rant, who he put on his Instagram, I don't chase, I attract.
Nobody believes it.
Who are you attracting to Milwaukee? Who's coming to Milwaukee?
It's like when some fat jackass, right, the guy who's balding, who's fat, who has a neck beard, and has some glasses. Right, no, it's true. And he says, oh, I don't chase, I attract. Who are you attracting? The assortative mating potential clients that you have who are supposed to like you, they won't like you because you're a loser. So who are you attracting? The dust in your mum's basement? Right? Do you have a magnet? Like, no, it's stupid. It's ridiculous, and I can't stand it. No one wants to go to Milwaukee.
The only player you've attracted there is Damian Lillard, and he ended up getting depression.
He didn't want to go there.
Portland. He moved back to Portland because he had depression.
He didn't even want to go there. He wanted to go... Where did he want to go? I forget.
Miami.
Yeah, I think it was Miami and somewhere else. He didn't want to go to Milwaukee, but this idiot decided to keep going. And he says, "Oh no, look, I'm like," and it's okay if you want to go the Dirk Nowitzki route, where you never demand a trade and you got your one title, fine. But don't act like the most important thing is winning, and don't act like you are being some good Samaritan by doing a favor to Milwaukee. If you want to do that, sign a 5-year extension for $300 million or whatever it is the Bucks can give you right now, and put an end to all of this. Even the video, he said, that I'm not leaving from the Wolf of Wall Street, that suggests that you are staying for a long time, right? You're not staying there. You're not staying unless they're going to forcibly trade you. So no, I'm sick of all this nonsense. There's been a will he, won't he for a long time. It's like a bad sitcom. It's like a horrible rom-com. Everyone knows how this ends. So unless he sacks up and signs the extension or demands out, this is going to be a stupid saga for the next however long. And I'm tired of it, frankly. This guy is too good to still be jockeying for first rounds every single year. He has not been back to the conference final since he won the title. He's been to one of the conference championship game when they lost to Kawhi and the Raptors in 2019. He has frankly been a failure since he won the MVP. Whether that's his fault or not, fine. If you aren't willing to go out there and either demand that, because they've made the trades to get you guys in position to win, but you aren't willing to go out and win those games. You weren't willing to develop a proper post game. You weren't willing to develop your game in the way that would maximize your team's chance of success. And now you're not even willing to leave or let them get the prerequisite things to get back in place. Because they're not better than the Knicks. They're not better than the Celtics when they have Jason Tatum. You're not going to be better. You're probably not better than the Cavs right now when you have James Harden and Donovan Mitchell. You're definitely not going to be better when they get LeBron James back. So what the hell are you doing? What the hell are you playing at? You should get the hell out of there. Go somewhere else where you can get an actual chance at winning.
He wants it both ways. He claims that he's a winner and that he wants to fight for championships. You're in Milwaukee. You're not going to be in a win now position in Milwaukee for the next 5 years at least, and then you'll be past it or going. He's
already said he won.
No free agent in their right mind wants to move to Milwaukee.
And no one's going to request a trade there.
No one wants to go there. It's an unattractive, undesirable place where superstars are not going to re-sign extensions. So the way the Milwaukee have to do it is what they did with you, where they tank and they get someone and develop them, and they build a team around them. That's what they have to do now.
I think they got him 13th in the draft.
He's ignoring the pathway for his. If he really is loyal to the Bucks, if he really cares about that franchise, he will realize that their next move is to tank. That is their next move. It's to trade Giannis, get rid of him, start from scratch. That's where they need to go from here. And if he really cares about that franchise the way he claims he does, then you let them move on and you let them do that and you go and chase something that you want. Because you're not going to have it both ways. You can't win a championship and stay with the Bucks.
See, I don't have a problem with him staying. What I do have a problem with is him. If he put that video out, that I'm not leaving video, 3 months ago, I wouldn't have had a problem with it. But he's acting like he wants to stay there.
He didn't trade deadline when it didn't happen.
It was 8:08 in the UK. The trade deadline passed at 8 o'clock. What are you doing? It really ticked me off. So yeah, I think we're in agreement over Giannis. He's an irritant. Just leave Milwaukee or don't. Just be honest about what you're going to do here. Stop trying to have it both ways. Stop trying to have your cake and eat it too. You look ridiculous and everyone sees through it now. So, yeah. Right, other stuff on the trade deadline. Moves that did happen.
Harden. It's some time for my analogy.
Oh God.
So you've got a friend.
Owen doesn't make relationships. No, Owen doesn't make analogies to do with relationships. So I have no clue where he's going to go with this.
So you've got a friend. You got a friend, Mus.
Okay.
And you just hear he's with a new girl.
Okay.
And you know this girl, and you know the reputation that she has.
Oh. Okay.
And this girl has cheated on every single boyfriend she's ever had. And she's had a lot of them.
Oh, okay.
And she's cheated on every single one of them.
All of them.
And to make it worse, she's cheated on her ex with your friend. Oh, and he's about to enter a relationship with this girl.
Oh, so he didn't just he didn't just do the deed with her. He wants to progress things with her.
Yes, he wants to be in a relationship with her.
Okay.
And she cheated on her ex to get with him, and now he thinks it's a good idea to be with her. Now, you know what's happened in the past, and it's happened too many times to just be a mistake. It's happened about, let me think, how many teams has Harden been on?
So there was Thunder, OKC, no, Thunder, Rockets, Nets,
He didn't
Sixers.
quit on the Thunder, though. So let's
No,
go
he was traded.
Rockets,
So
Nets,
Rockets, Nets, Sixers,
Jimmy,
Clippers.
Clippers, and so 4 different boyfriends, and she's cheated on all of them
And also, I
in
think it's
horrendous
important.
ways.
I was going to say, I think it's important that we address how the cheating happened. So once he put on a fat suit. The second the second he just quit, he just stopped playing. He goes to for the Sixers. He goes to China and says that Daryl Morey is a bad human being who's a liar, and I will never play with him again.
Chinese kids who have no idea what he's talking about.
Even though these children probably can't speak English. So, and if they do, it's very broken English. So, I used to serve a lot of Chinese customers in a previous job of mine, so I know they don't speak very good English. We usually had to get a translate. We usually had to get someone who's from East Asia to translate what they were saying to us. And then...
This isn't in England, this is in China that you were saying this.
Yeah, exactly. So they're going to have no concept of English because they have no need to. And then the Clippers, he just stopped playing basketball.
With the Clippers, it's so confusing. They're on a 16-3 winning streak.
Like, they're doing legitimately really good.
And this is another one which stresses me out with Harden. He comes out and he says, no, me and the Clippers were at an understanding and we both had different goals. No, you didn't. You demanded out. You wanted out. So don't pretend like it was just some little arrangement between you and the Clippers with the best of interest of both. No. The reason you left was a selfish reason. And it goes.
I mean, it was money at the end of the day, wasn't it? Like, he wanted an extra.
Let's bring the Cavs into this.
Yes.
The Cavs are your friend.
Okay. Okay.
Why does your friend think it's a good idea to take on this girl who has cheated on every boyfriend, failed in every relationship, never progressed, never done anything of any worth in the playoffs? Why do you suddenly think, oh, the East is weak this year, it's fine, we can do this? No. You are now going to lose against not only the Pistons, not only the Knicks, the Celtics. They've got Vucevic now. You're going to lose to the Celtics, even without Jason Tatum. Your Harden and Donovan Mitchell-led team, neither of them have ever done anything. Well, Mitchell has had good playoff games, but he should have won more series than he has. I don't see why they think it's a good idea or a sensible idea to get Harden just so that they can re-sign Donovan Mitchell, when Harden is going to do to them what he's done to every single team that he's ever been with.
Well, I would tell my friend it's a very bad idea.
It's a very bad idea.
No one else has managed to save this woman. So
She don't want to be saved.
I don't know why you want to step up and be captain this time, but hey, sometimes you have to swim with the sharks and get bit by them. Now, the thing with Harden is, it's like you said, right? He's quit on a team since such horrible ways, and he's done it over and over and over. And it's not just that; it's that he's failed in the playoffs over and over as well. It's not just that he's quit on teams after he won the games, right? It's not like he'd had good playoff games and then quit on the teams. He would flame out horribly, and he would sod off and go to another team. So, it's what it is. Why they're doing it, I don't know. Because I think if it's a win now move, it doesn't make sense. Because Harden's never shown he can win in the playoffs. And Donovan Mitchell's not exactly a great playoff performer either. And then, so I don't, are you is this part of your ploy to get LeBron? Which, I mean, Harden's obviously better in the regular season, but Garland gives you trade chips at least. that you can use in a better. Let's say we'll touch on AD in a little bit, but apparently he's not very happy about being moved to Washington. So let's say if the Cavs called up Dallas and said, "Hold on, we'll give you Darius Garland and picks and something else, and you give us Anthony Davis in the summer." I think that Donovan Mitchell, LeBron, and AD is a better combination than Donovan Mitchell, James Harden, and LeBron James. So I think they just blew their load too early. Unless LeBron's already said to the Cavs, "Look, I'm coming home. Get me another ball. Get Mitchell and Harden as ball handlers so I can just play off the ball." I don't know, but I don't. Just adding the fact that he's never been a good playoff performer, I don't understand what they're doing. It's not a good idea.
Tell that friend, don't do it. Don't save her. She can't be saved.
No, she can't be saved. So, well, it's a difficult situation. But hey, we'll have to see.
And James Harden is literally the NBA equivalent of the most toxic male-female alive. He is the embodiment of toxicity.
It's terrible. Like he is like everyone who watches this video will know someone or is the someone who engages in chicanery such as this. And
just think of James Harden.
You are James Harden. You are a 36-year-old man with a beard. So, we'll see what happens. In terms of the other significant trade was Anthony Davis. So, what did you think of that? That was a blockbuster. That was a big surprise. The Wizards are slyly looking to make a run next year. I don't think it's going to work, but they have Trae Young, Anthony Davis.
I think
so.
I don't think it's going to work either, but I think they absolutely robbed the Mavericks.
I don't know what the Mavericks are doing.
It's really sad what they've got for Luka Doncic.
They've essentially got a bunch of picks, just in a roundabout way. And those picks aren't necessarily going to be good picks. Because the Wizards in the East will be like an 8 or 9 seed.
Well, most of the picks that they got were protected top 20 or something, weren't they?
Yeah, so I don't really understand what their game is here. I mean, I think, when does AD's contract run out? I think he might be a free agent next year. Yeah, so AD's a free agent in 2027 if he wants to be. So, it's...
And he's not going to want to re-sign for the Washington Wizards.
Exactly, so they're probably going to have to trade him anyway.
I think they just took a punt. They were just like, the East is in a weak position. We're getting Trae Young. We're going to get AD at centre. Maybe he likes playing with Trae Young and their other young guy, Sal. And they've got a couple of good young guys. And then they've got
Owen, they're the 13 seed.
Yeah, they'll have a high pick in this draft as well. So they're trying to make a sneaky run, but like I say, I don't think either AD or Trae Young will want to stay there long term, particularly.
I mean, I don't think Trae really cares that much. Because, I mean, he's 27 and he's got time there. He can make a bucket of money. So, we'll have to see what happens there. AD's just a weird. I don't understand it. So, yeah, we'll see what happens with that one there. It's just strange. It was a move that really caught me by surprise, is what I'll say. Any other moves that really caught your mind?
Celtics got their big.
Yeah, Vucevic. They should not bring Tatum back this year, man.
I just really want to see him again.
Yeah, but do you want to see him with a high chance of popping his Achilles again?
No, I really don't want that. But I guess it depends on how good he feels.
I think he should be held out for his own good. 12 months.
I saw him, he did an interview where he said it's literally been on my mind so much last couple of weeks of whether I'm going to come back or not. So I think he's still in the decision process. I don't think anything is.
But even then, so what? He got hurt in the second round, so let's assume that's the middle of May. If he comes back, you'd assume he'd won a couple of weeks before the playoffs, so that's the start of April. That's what? 10 months? 10 and a half months? And players who've come back very well from Achilles tears, well, mainly only Durant, but when teams have gotten better, they start being better after about 18 months to 2 years. So I don't know. I wouldn't come back if it was him.
Yeah, but the East is so open this year. He might just get an itch.
Maybe. We'll have to see what happens this year. We'll cover the NBA more as time goes on.
I don't know what you think, but I think the whole league this year is more open than it's been in a while.
I think... Who even is there in the East this year? I mean, Detroit are the 1 seed, Boston are the 2. I think the Knicks are probably favoured to come out at this point, if I'm honest.
I'd probably take Detroit over the Knicks.
Yeah, Detroit, New York. I don't trust the Cavs just because of Jim. So,
listen, if Tatum comes back and he doesn't get hurt and he's 80% of himself, we win the East with Vucevic, Brown, Tatum, White, Pritchard.
Yeah, I can see that. I just don't want the Cavs to win because, if the Cavs get to the finals, that's fine. As long as they don't win the title, I'm good.
But even in the West, I think OKC have looked vulnerable, more vulnerable than they were last season, in my opinion. The Spurs have little to no playoff experience. The Nuggets have been playing well, in fairness.
And Joker's back now.
Joker's back, so we'll have to see what happens there because they've been very high-rated offense this year without Joker. So
I think the 3 best teams are Denver, OKC, and the Spurs, and they're all out west.
I think the Spurs are the best team, but I'd be hesitant to pick them because of the little to no playoff experience. Well, no playoff experience for any of their players, and historically that just doesn't happen.
That's fair. So yeah,
I think OKC are more vulnerable than last year, personally.
So, I think that's it for today. We've covered everything we wanted to cover. No football today because there's nothing else to really add yet. And yeah, so we'll be back probably next Saturday or maybe Sunday again, and we will cover the Super Bowl and whatever other storylines that we decide to pick up on throughout the week. And yeah, we'll be back and I will see how mad Owen is if I turn out to be right. Or I think Owen's going to be mad either way, just based off of me. He's going to be mad if the Patriots win by a blowout because he's going to be like, you stole my thunder.
The only thing that will satisfy me is if it's a low-scoring game and the Patriots win by 3 points.
Yeah, so basically, I have 3 variables to victory here. So either the Seahawks win close, the Seahawks win big, or the Patriots... No, because victory in this case is just irritating you.
But I'll still be mad because I don't want a low-scoring game because I want entertainment. So either way, I'm not going to be happy.
So, I will have successfully ruined Owen's Super Bowl Sunday, so that is one mission accomplished, either way. So, that was not my intention, but that is the conclusion that we have gotten to. So, listen, it's been great talking to you all again, as normal. Owen enjoys these, as I think he's been here for 4 or 5 episodes now. And we will see you all again next weekend. Talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.